Today's video is sponsored by ZocDoc. It's a free app and website where you can choose from among 100,000 healthcare professionals here in the U.S. And yes, they do take insurance. Now, many of you have indicated a need for medical attention for a wide variety of mood disorders or family practice issues and much more beyond that. So with ZocDoc, you can find medical assistance and check actual appointment times and receive professional care. As the need arises, go to the link that we have below the video here and then proceed with confidence. Hey, Team Healthy. Glad to have you for another episode of Unbound. Keep in mind that this is the series that is a response to you, where you're coming from. You send in your questions and comments, and then I'm going to use the Unbound series to respond to that. And it allows me to kind of get more into a personal dimension with you with respect to some real life scenarios. Now, today, what I'm going to be talking with you about is the assigned roles that narcissists can give to you as you engage with them in an ongoing kind of pattern. Sometimes you may not even be aware consciously of what the role is, and the narcissist may not have specifically says this is who you'll be, but nonetheless, there are certain expectations that the narcissist has of you, and the more you can be aware of what that is, then the more you can make adjustments so that you don't get sucked into their pathology. Now, I've got a couple of people that have commented on this, and I'm going to be reading to you their comments, and I'll give you my responses. The first person says, one of the best questions that I have asked myself was, what part did I play in perpetuating this relationship? Okay, I love the way this person is already thinking, rather than thinking that individual is such an impossible person, that person is the cause of all my problems. That individual is willing to go into an introspective way. This person says, when I thought about it deeply, I realized I played a big part, starting with, I grew up with a narcissistic mother. I grew up insecure and secretly angry. It was all I knew. So it was natural for me to get into another narcissistic relationship where I did the same things there too. Okay, the reason I like this person's starting point is this is an individual who says, if I've got problems in my relationships, I need to be someone who takes responsibility. Notice that when narcissists have problems in their relationships, the first thing they do is they go straight into the accusational and blaming mode. You're the problem, you did this, you did that, and one of the defining features of narcissism is the refusal to take responsibility for their many pathological things. And then, in addition, as this person is writing in this question, you'll notice that there's a strong sense of self-awareness. She starts out by saying that I grew up with a narcissistic mother, and it caused me to feel insecure and secretly angry. Good for you that you can say that, because again, so many people in the narcissistic mode will say it's those people out there, they're the problem, when in fact, no, I've got some issues on the inside of me that I've been carrying, and someone was bound to draw it out, and here I am, this is what's going on. And then this person says it was natural for me to get into another narcissistic relationship. This person, in saying this, is putting their problems with the narcissist in front of them into the context of their own deep history. Now, let me pause for just a moment. You've probably heard me say that about 20%, and that's about it, of the population, and this is based on my own personal experience and actually research on this. About 20% of the population utilizes good psychological analytical skills, 20%. Now, that doesn't mean the other 80% is narcissistic, but it does mean that those who like to think about who they are and what makes them tick and the meaning of life, they're kind of in rarefied air. Not everybody does that. I wish they would, but nonetheless, that's something that not everybody's going to share with you. Now, I'm going to come back to this first questioner, but I want to interject and put some comments in with a second person. This second person says, I've had a lifelong struggle of trying to blend too much with other people. Once I learn that what someone wants or needs from me, I'll contort and try to keep things smooth between us. I have a reputation as a nice guy, but inside I'm often seething because I hold many feelings inside. You pick up on the parallels from that first questioner? And then this person goes on to say, my wife is uber controlling and can never be satisfied. My work has become an unhappy place because I feel taken advantage of by people who just assume I'll drop everything for them. How do I get out of this loop? Again, I applaud this person for saying, I know there's something going on inside me, rather than saying those people out there need to change according to my specifications. It's like, I know I need to change. How do I do it? One of the things that we need to keep in mind when we're in a psychotherapeutic mode is that awareness and taking responsibility is step number one. But then in addition, a huge thing that we're going to need to hold on to is having a sense of resolve. It's not enough to say, I see what's happening. But then the sense of resolve says, and I'm going to do something about it, and I'm going to make some specific adjustments. Now, when you're in a relationship where the narcissist has assigned a role to you, basically what they're saying is, you need to be my enabler. You need to prop me up, and in whatever way we do it, that's going to be fine with me. And the role may be that you'll be the golden child, the best buddy, the confidant. It may be that you'll be the servant who's always doing everything for them. It may be that you'll be the scapegoat. Who knows what it is. But in any role, the narcissist, number one, expects you to suppress your real feelings and the real you. It's not okay for you to access your own unique and independent self. And then also, you can give yourself the assignment that says, well, I guess I'll have to do whatever I have to do to keep that person off my back, so that you can be in a chronic defensive mode. And of course, what it does is it leaves you in a complaining and griping mode. Like, why does this person keep acting the way they do? By the way, the answer to that question is because they're narcissistic. And by definition, they're highly controlling and they're low insight and they're very selfish. That's why they do it. And what you're really saying is, I wish they would change. And by definition, they're not very inclined to do so. So you're going to need to focus on who you are as opposed to just staying inside their role. Now, let me go back to the questioner number one. This is the one that was saying, I need to ask, what role did I play in this? That person goes on to say, I realized that there were 1,000 small ways I played into the narcissist games. It's a deep cleansing experience to reflect about how and why I need to be different. Now, let's just pause right there. Of course, I'm a therapist, and when someone would come into my office and say, I really want to know who I am and where I'm going. Yes, I know I've got some troubled people out there, but I've got some things on the inside of myself. That's just like throwing a bone to a dog. It's like, sick them, go get them. Because this is a person that says, I don't want to go into shaming towards the other person. I don't want to buy into shame toward myself. I simply want to be descriptive. What is it in me that can be different, and how can I make the adjustments? That's one of the cleanest ways that you can know that you're on a path towards growth. Going further, this person says, I'm also realizing that there are patterns that the narcissist cannot change. Okay, let's pause right there. In this person's realization that a role has been assigned to them and they're trying to get out of it, it's like, you know what? That narcissistic person is not likely to have the insight that I'm going to have, which means they're going to continue to be what they are. And one of the problems that so many people have is they're trying to break out of the unhealthiness with the narcissist is you can work too hard in trying to get the narcissist to understand his or her role in the difficulty, because they'll come back and say, okay, I've got a role in this problem, and that is my role is to make you responsible for me. I mean, they simply aren't going to take responsibility. So this person says, I realize there are patterns that the narcissist can't change, so I need to be the change. And then this person goes on to say, maybe I'm just one of the lucky ones who has enough insight to get out from the cage. Yep, that's part of that 20% that I just mentioned. So many people in my world either can't or won't make the effort, but I'll no longer seek those people out. One of the biggest problems that you can have is that you can have such a strong loyalty towards healthy relationships that your loyalty itself can become part of your own pain. And it's kind of strange to say that loyalty can be a pain-producing kind of an ingredient. But when your loyalty towards another person is so strong that you go into that suppression mode and then you just do whatever you have to do to keep that narcissist off your back, then that sets you up to be an inauthentic person. And so in order for you to break out of the role that the narcissist has ascribed to you, it's going to be so essential for you to rather than thinking, what can I do to make that person be different, do what these individuals are doing. And it's like, okay, I've got some serious soul searching that I need to do. I don't like what that other person is bringing, but I can't change another individual who doesn't want to change or sees no need to change. I get it. And so I'm going to work on that one person I can do something about. And by golly, I'm going to do a good job when I do it. And this is what we mean when this is the beginning of what we refer to as your boundaries. Defining who you are, identifying the adjustments that need to be made, being very particular with yourself about what you will and will not do in response to the narcissist, your clean anger, your assertions, your separate distinctions. That's all part of boundaries, defining yourself and then living into that definition. So the narcissist may want you to stay inside their pre-programmed role. And I'm hoping you can think to yourself, thanks, but no thanks. I've got a life to live, and it doesn't involve the chaos that you bring to it. Now, I appreciate these people who have written these things in, and I appreciate the comments there. By the way, I've got Gus right here next to me. You can't see him, but he's still my little buddy here. He's asleep right next to me. I guess I bore him. I don't know. But nonetheless, those of you who have your questions and comments, please go ahead and send them in, and we'll go into more episodes here with our Unbound series. Now, you know that I have my sponsors, and one of my sponsors is ZocDoc, and the reason that I am so pleased to have them is it allows you to have access to people that can help you with medical needs that are part of some of the psychological elements, and then also they actually have medical doctors that can assist you with family practice issues and things like that. So make sure that you're tuned into our sponsors and you make good use of the services they offer to you. That's why we select the ones that we do to sponsor our channel here. Also, go to my website and you'll find access to my online courses that are extremely extensive, and then my webinars, our articles and books. There are a lot of resources that we have there for you, and just please know that I so appreciate you letting me be on your journey with you. Okay, guys, the narcissist may say, well, here's the groove that you're supposed to stay inside of. Here's the role that you're supposed to play. That's their thing. That's their way. They might as well be shouting, I don't want to take responsibility for me. I'm hoping you can decide, you know what? It is your job to take responsibility for yourself. And if you choose not to, I'm not going to play the role of enabling or going into the screaming memes and all the rest like that. I've got a life to live, and it doesn't include your chaos. And in doing so, I'm hoping it can position you to be a person of steadiness and peace that the narcissist can't be. But nonetheless, those kind of qualities can be yours to claim.